To truly understand the intricate workings of a complex social and economic system, one that profoundly shapes our daily lives, requires more than just abstract ideas. It demands a deep dive into reality itself. Karl Marx approached the study of capitalism with a profoundly empirical and systematic method. He meticulously analyzed historical data, critically examined the writings of classical political economists, and observed the lived experiences and social relations within capitalist societies. His goal was not simply to describe capitalism but to uncover its underlying laws of motion. The why behind Marx's empirical approach is rooted in his philosophical framework of historical materialism and his dialectical method. Historical materialism posits that the economic organization of society, its mode of production, is the fundamental basis upon which political and ideological superstructures are built. To understand capitalism, therefore, one must analyze its material conditions and economic structures. Marx employed a dialectical method, which meant he saw society not as static, but as constantly evolving through internal contradictions. He did not rely on abstract models alone. Instead, he delved into a vast array of concrete evidence. This included detailed statistical reports on industry, factory acts, parliamentary blue books on working conditions, official census data, and the historical records of trade and commerce from various nations. He believed that only by grounding theory in this rich empirical reality could one truly grasp the dynamic and often contradictory nature of capitalism. His research involved years of painstaking work in the British Museum Library, poring over these primary sources to build his comprehensive critique. So, how did Marx put these methods into practice, and what does it mean for understanding his work? He applied his empirical lens by dissecting the core components of capitalism, like the commodity, money, and capital, not as abstract concepts but as historically developed social relations. For example, in his monumental work, Das Kapital, he did not just theorize about labor and value. He provided extensive empirical evidence to show how surplus value was extracted from workers in real-world factory settings. He analyzed the length of the working day, the intensity of labor, and the impact of machinery on production, all supported by detailed observations and reports. He demonstrated how the abstract theory of value manifested in concrete economic phenomena. Understanding Marx's approach means appreciating this rigorous commitment to examining actual historical processes and economic data to inform theoretical development. One fascinating example of Marx's empirical insight is his concept of commodity fetishism. While seemingly an abstract idea, it emerged from his observation of how, under capitalism, social relations between people take on the fantastic form of a relation between things. People perceive commodities as having inherent value independent of the labor that produced them, obscuring the human effort and social organization involved. Another key insight derived from his historical empirical study is primitive accumulation, which refers to the historical process of forcibly separating producers from their means of production, like the enclosure of common lands, creating a landless working class necessary for capitalism's emergence. These were not just theoretical constructs, but empirically grounded observations of historical and economic processes. Marx's empirical study of capitalism was not a mere collection of facts. It was a method to reveal the systemic nature of exploitation, inequality, and the internal contradictions inherent in the capitalist mode of production. By meticulously analyzing historical trends and economic data, he sought to demonstrate that capitalism, like previous social systems, was a transient historical phase, paving the way for the theoretical foundation of scientific socialism. His work stands as a testament to the power of combining rigorous empirical research with a comprehensive theoretical framework to understand and ultimately transform the world.